Last week brought the mouth-watering news that Facebook had dished out $1 billion for Instagram. Back here in Australia too, there's said to be a wave of US venture capital money chasing wannabe high-tech businesses. A year ago, Aussie startup 99 Designs, which puts businesses looking for graphic design work in touch with designers around the world, was handed $35 million. Now compare that to the efforts that many small listed startups in traditional sectors have to go to for just $5 or $10 million in capital. So what's the attraction? Well, I'm joined in the studio now by Patrick Llewellyn, CEO of 99 Designs. Patrick, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you have dual headquarters in Melbourne and San Francisco now.
Yes.
Why could Australia be the next breeding ground for another 99 Designs or Instagram?
The reason why Australia is a great place to build a business is because we start life thinking global. It's a small market technology-wise, and so typically most of our entrepreneurs are thinking about the global opportunity, not just one that's at home. We also have great, educational institutions that we can work with.
So we've got a lot of graduates coming out through IT and stuff?
We do. We have great graduates. Not enough of them. We'd like to see more of them because, it's very challenging to get good talent right now. But when you do, they're terrifically loyal. They're super high quality and, quite frankly, world class. So
your investor, Accel Partners,
yes,
looked at you guys. It's also invested in other similar companies. Yeah. What other elements does it look at? What particular skills might Australians have?
We can do a lot with a lot less. So if you look at the Accel thesis in investment, they invested in us. They also invested in Atlassian. And both of these businesses have very similar traits in that we managed to grow our businesses bootstrapped or within our own means. So we didn't need to go and raise money to start our business. We were able to actually find customers to pay for our service and validate that we had something that was really worthwhile. And so we're able to grow and grow reasonably substantially based predominantly on word of mouth from our customers.
But what do you do? I mean, are you coders? Where is your expertise?
Our expertise is really in software development.
Yeah.
So we've built a global platform that's scaled. And then what we've been good at is delivering a service that customers love. And so our customers have really helped us grow our business. They've been super satisfied with the service that they've got. They tell their friends, and that's allowed us to grow. So we never spent any money on marketing for the first 3 years of our life. We just spent it on trying to develop a world-class service. Yesterday
we had a startup called Conduit on the show looking for 10 million. Before Christmas, Kaggle.com got 11 million. I'm just amazed that startup isn't a dirty word because, who could forget that the black skivvy incubation age, or probably you were too young to remember, but anyway, whenever it was, 12 years ago, those high-tech startups did not have any earnings at all.
No.
Do these?
Yeah, well, I mean,
is that the difference?
Well, the difference certainly is in businesses like ours, we did. And I think that gave investors certainly a lot of confidence that we understood the model that we're growing with. I think what we do see is other startups don't necessarily have it, but they typically have some sort of traction. Kaggle, for example, has a great community of data engineers who are out there solving problems already, and they've proven that they've got a platform that can do that.
Yeah, solving problems for the world.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
OK, now look, there have been reports recently about a shake-up also in Silicon Valley itself. A lot of Australians in Silicon Valley, I understand about 60 to 70 startups, and even a startup house which is being subsidised as of next month by the New South Wales government. Is it really, how does it feel over there? Is it a big shake-up?
It's not a shake-up. I think it's just a super exciting time. I mean, what it is Australians growing up. I think, there's a lot of money in Silicon Valley, and that's what attracts us to get there. There's also a lot of talent. We think that we're talented. We think that we can compete on a global scale. So I think it's just a natural progression. You mentioned Atlassian.
Kaggle has now gone over to Silicon Valley. I know you've still got an HQ down in Melbourne,
sure,
but there's a concern also that there's an Australian mafia over there, but there might be a bit of a brain drain from Australia. Is that a concern?
I don't think so. I think ultimately, if you talk to any of the Australians who actually find themselves in Silicon Valley, Bardia, for example, is the one who's invested in Startup House. I mean, Bardia has put his money where his mouth and he's actually supporting Australian entrepreneurs get to the Valley. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back here at some point, further supporting Australian startups. I think what we're seeing is this wave of entrepreneurs, the successful entrepreneurs like Scott, like Mike, they're out there mentoring new entrepreneurs every day, and they're actually putting their money where their mouth is. So.
Finally, Instagram, worth $1 billion?
That's a tough one. I mean, I knew those guys. They actually got some servers up from our office that we shared in Pier 38 in San Francisco. So that was a pretty interesting time.
Are you a little bit jealous?
Well, of course. I mean, their success is unbelievable, but 30 million users in 17 months is something that's, pretty outstanding. Particularly when you think that that's also come through this social graph. They didn't pay to acquire those customers came to them.
Well, I must say, even if you're not a billion-dollar man, I'm sure you're doing pretty well, and you've got your opening in Brazil and Berlin.
Right.
That's got to be cool. Patrick Llewellyn, what a great job to be in.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.